classwork contemplations time. Normally, this would be the point where we would hit you with some new stuff, but we're just going to keep blowing right through on review because of that upcoming test and the fact that we've covered everything you need to know in the unit. Go ahead. By the way, like we found the mistake before in number 6, this pays off at the end of the 7th year. Okay. All right. So I equals PRT, 2,500 times 0.05 times 7. I crunch those numbers. I come up with $875 and interest must be paid. So what's the real total cost of the laptop? It's $2,500 plus $875, which is $3,375. Remember, you have to pay back the interest and also the cost of the item. Okay. Number 7, TJ invests $4,000 in a bond, interest rate 5%. He earned $500 in interest. How long was the money invested? I equals PRT. We're just going to use the formula in a slightly different way because instead of looking for I'm going to put I in there, and it should be just $500 in interest, which it is. I must have hit the 5 and the 6 at the same time. So underneath it says 500. So this should be 500 right here. I just probably hit 5 and 6 at the same time. Equals 200 T because 4,000 times 0.05 is 200. Dividing by 200, and I get T is 2.5. Okay. Here we go. Okay, a little compound interest formula. Very similar to the last one, but this time we put in $45,000. And last time we explained where the 0.275 comes from. That's the interest rate. 12 is because it's compounded monthly. There's 12 months in a year. 25 years is where that is at. So that's 45,000 times, we've calculated this 1.00229166667 many times. And the amount of months, 12, which is old, but the new amount of years, which is 25. 12 times 25 is 300. And when you crunch that, put the numbers in the calculator, you'll get 89,422.82. Here we go, a little rule of 72 practice. Okay, so 12% interest, so 72 divided by 12 is 6, which means in 6 years, the money doubles. So in our table, we'll set up 6 years, 12 years, 18 years. Wants to know 24 years, so we'll put a 24 in there. If you started with 9,000, in 6 years, you're going to have 18. In 12 years, you'll have 36, because it doubles every time. That's what the rule of 72 talks about. 36 doubled is 72, and 72 doubled is $144,000. Little savings plan formula action. Go ahead. Okay, so this time the payments are $375 instead of $325, but everything else is staying the same. Don't forget the 12s are because it is monthly payments. Okay, 0.12 is because the interest rate is 12%. This -1 is just part of the formula at the end here. So I get 0.1268 over 0.1, which works out to, if I take care of it, 12.68 times 375, and I get 47.55. But the formula can be used in two ways. We can figure out the amount based on the payment, or we can figure out the payment based on the amount you want to have. This person wants $1,850,000 in the account when they retire in 30 years. Using that formula, go ahead and find out how much each monthly payment should be. Okay. Same formula on the right here with everything going into its place when you crunch those numbers. 5.02257 divided by 0.005. That comes out to 1,004.52. I divide that into 1,850,000 and I get 1841.68 a month. If you own a business, you might be able to do something like that. Put that money away. An individual on a teacher's salary, that's kind of tough. 2 teacher salaries possible. But this is an interest rate of 6%. I was getting 12%. So with that, you'll get there a lot quicker, or you'll have a whole lot more money. Okay, a little income tax problem here. How much tax should you pay if your adjusted gross income minus deductions is $91,317 and you file married jointly? That's the second column there. Go ahead. So remember how these things work. For everybody, I don't care if you're Warren Buffett or Bill Gates or Bob Lindquist, everybody in this country pays 10% on the first $16,700 they make. Then for the amount past $16,700 but up until and including $67,900, they pay 15%. And then past $67,900 up to $137,050, they pay 25%. And $91,317 lies in that area. So that's as far as we need to go. Now, 10% times $16,700 is $1,670. So that covers this first $16,700 earned. Now, the next $51,200, that's the difference between $16,700 and $67,900, pays 15%. So 0.15 of is times $51,200 is $7,680. Now, how much do they have from the $91,317 to the $67,900? You got to subtract. That works out to $23,417, and that is multiplied by 25 cents, and you come out with 5854.25. Now, how much tax do you pay? You got to add up how much for each row. So you add them all up: 1670 plus 7680 plus 5854.25. You add them up, and you get $15,204.25. In case you didn't get that one, let's do another one of these, because I wouldn't spend this much time if it wasn't going to be at least one of these on your test. Oh, by the way, the last part here says you paid your employer $15,000 to the federal government. What happens when you file your taxes? Well, you gave the government maybe not. Look at this. So if you only gave the government, $15,000, right? I didn't do this calculation here. I should have done a calculation here. If you gave the government $15,000 and you really owed $15,204.25, then you still owe the government another $204.25. So you'd have to send them a check for $2,425. This bottom red was the answer to yesterday's one that we did like this. All right, here we go. Or the previous problem one like that. Here we go. Rectangular tabletop will be made of maple wood. I'll give you just a little bit of a hint here. There is one like this on your quiz today, so you might see it on your test too. Who knows? Go ahead. Okay, so volume is length times width times height. In this case, it's 8 feet by 3 feet. And here's the catch, right? You can't multiply by inches here. You have to keep the units consistent. It has to be feet, and an inch is 1/12 of a foot. So when I multiply that all out, I get 2 cubic feet, not squared, but cubic feet. And then I do 2 cubic feet times 71 pounds per cubic foot. I don't know why they say squared, but whatever. They cancel out, and you're left with 2 times 71, which is 142 pounds. Done properly, this would have said feet cubed here and cubed down here, but because they cancel each other out, it doesn't really make a difference in the end. The numbers are correct throughout the problem. All right, here we go. A little compound interest, pair of questions about that. Go ahead. Okay, for the first one, same formula as always for compound interest. In this case, it's compounded annually, so n is 1, and it's 10% interest. So 2,500 times 1 plus 0.10 over 1 times 1 to the, and then 1 times 8, because it's going to be in there for 8 years. So that's 2,500 times 1.1 to the 8th, which works out to be $5,358.90. $0.97. Okay. Let's go here to number 2. Find the amount of compound interest on $29,000 for 3 years at 5% per year, compounded annually. Go ahead. Okay, so same formula, 29,000, but this time it's 1 plus 0.05. The previous problem had 10%. This one has 5%. So the previous problem was 0.10. This one is 0.05. The previous problem is 8 years. This one is 3 years. So I changed the 8 to a 3. And when I just crunch those numbers, 29,000 times 1.05 to the third, I get 33,571.15. Okay, so we'll stop right there on this video, and then we'll pick up with one more video to finish these review questions.